Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. So I'm getting another video in today. I'm feeling a little inspired to talk about giving and taking. The question I want to focus on, again, please, if you like my content, do like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any hate, any negativity, keep it on your side of the street, please. Okay, cool. So I want to talk about giving and taking. What do I mean when I say giving and taking? So the big question is, have you ever considered what position you hold in your life when it comes to giving and taking? Are you a giver? Are you a taker? Or would you like to believe that you're balanced in that regard, that you're a giver and you're a taker? Because, we have some people, you know who you are, who fall very much onto the side of giving, which means you overgive. And you have people as well who knowingly or unknowingly, and in many cases, let's not front, in many cases knowingly are takers because it's to their benefit. I mean, that's a dynamic you find very often in the empath and narcissist relationship dynamic. So look, I come from that dynamic. I know all about the empath narcissist dynamic. I come from a string of shitty relationships that somehow thrived off of that dynamic being in effect, and it's not a nice place to be in. We'll get into that in another video. For now, I'd like to just talk about whether you have ever considered if you're a giver or a taker in your life. Are you the giver? Are you the taker? And if you are a taker, are you grateful? How do you take? How do you give? How does that dynamic in your life affect your relationships? On a personal level, I don't think this is really anything we need to now step out and go talk to our friends and ask people, hey, am I a giver? Am I a taker? Like, how do you see me? No, I think let's take a moment to sit and ask ourselves, within my life, what is the dynamic with my relationships? Why are people in my life? Is it because I give? Or are they in my life because I'm taking from them? Let's be real. I'm taking from them. Or are they in my life because it's a balanced, equal give and take dynamic I have with people? I'm self-aware enough to know when I'm taking too much. I'm self-aware enough to know when it's time for me to give now, and when I need to stop giving, when I need to stop taking, and maybe I need to stop allowing people to take and stop allowing people to give. Are you balanced? Are you aware? That's a nice word. Are you balanced? Are you aware about that dynamic in your life? And if not, now that you may be hearing this video and you're thinking about it, how is it making you feel? I would recommend, maybe get a journal and write these things down. Go on your own little internal self-aware journey, and as we go along, write these things down and try to figure out how and if you need to make any adjustments in your life in that regard. I will definitely go into more depth about this at some point. But yeah, like how do you feel at the end of situations with somebody? giving and taking isn't only just something one needs to consider on a materialistic and on an emotional level, but hell, the most important one is energetically. Are we just giving our energy away? Are people just taking our energy from us? Are people in your life because of your energy? Or are they? Why are people there? Why are you there? Why are they allowed in your life? You know, what is the give and take dynamic between you and other people? Let's talk a little bit more into the energy side of it. I won't go too deep because I'd like to go at some point into a video about energy vampires, which are a real thing, but it's a whole other topic right now. When I say how do you feel at the end of situations with people, are you aware enough? Because sometimes our emotions and how we connect with people emotionally can, you know, distract us from how they affect us on other levels, how we relate to our own perceptions and ideas of loyalty and responsibility and what you're supposed to do and be in a specific person's life. And look, this applies to family members too, okay? Let's be real, there are people with labels in our lives. Regardless of what your emotions are, that is the reality. There are people with labels in our lives that we attach different meanings, emotions, attachments, whatever you want to call it to, that give them a certain ranking of the kind of responsibility we believe we hold in that dynamic. So again, be real with yourself and ask yourself, how do you feel after you engage with certain people in your life? Are you energized? Do you feel like you've been uplifted? Do you feel drained? Do you feel like the moment you're out of their space, you just need to go and take a freaking nap? Do you feel like you're on top of the world? Do you feel like you've gotten what you need? Are you aware if maybe someone else, after engaging you, is feeling some kind of level of being drained? Or, you know, how self-aware are you when it comes to your own energy and your own energy levels, and how much of that you give, how much of that you allow people to take? What are your energetic boundaries? What are your energetic boundaries? Do you have any? Do you feel like if you had... Sorry, I'm gonna wait for him to calm down so he's not up in our mix. Do you feel like you can't have boundaries because you're worried about how someone might view you if you did put up a certain boundary? If you did, how would that benefit you? What if you just decided to create a boundary with someone regarding your giving and taking? And I mean this in every aspect, materially, energetically, emotionally. We all know, once you become aware, you've already conquered half of the battle, right? Because you become aware, you find a way to make the change, and then you heal, and then you move on, and you don't have an issue in your life anymore, or you've grown, you've elevated, you've evolved. So I ask again, if you decided to create a certain boundary after you've become aware of something, are you afraid of what the result within a relationship with somebody would be if you created that boundary for yourself? Is that why you don't have the boundary? Or do you just not have the boundary because it was something you were not aware of? I think it's something to consider. I also think that once you start creating boundaries, healthy boundaries, it starts teaching people around you as well on an energetic level, not just physically, not just materialistically, but on an energetic level too. I think it will start teaching people how to treat you, and once you create those boundaries, the ones who get upset about it, they're the ones maybe you need to reconsider what position you give them in your life, if they then are even allowed one at all. In terms of taking, are you self-aware enough to know if you're taking to avoid taking responsibility for certain things in your own life? Are you taking from others in areas where you maybe feel that, well, it's there, it's available, it's open to me, so I'll take it, when you can actually do it yourself and maybe save the next person some energy, some time, some resources to not have to give to you, and you take it on yourself? In what way, with your giving and taking, do you think you can become more independent? In what way, with your giving and taking, do you think you can become more balanced and more self-aware? Also, when it comes to your giving and taking, what is feeding your ego? What is feeding your insecurity? Something to think about, right? I mean, I'm talking here and I'm still doing a re-scan on my own life while I'm doing this. So I think it's really important, because once we become aware of all of this, we start learning how to save our energy, and we start learning how to direct our own energy that is meant for us to evolve and to move forward in our own lives the right way. Okay, we use it, we use it to grow ourselves, we use it to expand our own minds, we use it to fill our own mind space with our own shit and not just everyone else's shit, because that's also a form of giving, you know, giving people too much of your mind space, of your time, of your thought energy. Most of the time it's people who don't even need to be there, people who don't even deserve it, people who aren't even grounded in themselves and who probably don't give that much to you. And this I actually speak more for on my empaths. As an empath, you tend to feel and consider and want to care about the person on the outside of you so much that it starts taking away from you. And to my empaths out there, I really hope that maybe the ones who aren't aware, I hope that this video helps you become aware and helps you save your energy, because as empaths we tend to give and give and give and give, and at the end of all the giving we feel so depleted, we feel so used, we feel so taken from, because we're giving it all to the takers who are unbalanced in their giving. And then we knock ourselves down some more because we're but we're hoping naturally to get something back from the people we've been giving to that are takers, and they don't. That knocks down your self-value as an empath and the way you see yourself, because your gift is to give. But if it's not reciprocated and it's not valued, it becomes a curse. And again, it trickles right down then into making a choice to have a boundary, so that you don't just give so freely and let people take so freely from you. That in itself is a whole topic too. But yeah, take some time to sit and think about, in your own life and your own relationship dynamics, how you're a giver and a taker. Where can you maybe establish a little bit more balance? Where can you create boundaries so that you can also cultivate and save and use your own energy for your own self and your own development in a way that maybe you're not able to, or haven't had the energy even to become aware to, because you've just been giving it out, or people have just been taking it from you. And also where you're taking, find your balance and be grateful. Because what we might see as something we've taken as small from someone else, energy, resources, time, material, we don't fully understand what the next person is going through or has gone through to have to attain that, build that. I'm gonna close off with another card. I think I will again use the flower therapy by Doreen Virtue. Let's see what my dogs are so loud. Let's see what advice flower therapy cards can give us to close off this reading today. Okay? Again, thank you for sharing your time and your energy with me. I hope this has helped someone consider something a little differently, and given them the courage to make the adjustments in their lives, that even small adjustments that can help them direct their energy and their resources to something more of themselves, you know. Oh, look at that. Spirit says, first step. Can you see? First step. The card says, it's a hydrangea, the flower. And the card says, breaking down this problem into tiny pieces makes it easy to take the first step. I think that aligns beautifully with working out this whole giving and taking thing that we've been talking about. break it down into small pieces. I don't think, you know, like I said, get a journal and write down a list where you think that you are giving and taking in your life, and who's giving and taking to you, and take it step by step. Boundaries don't have to be put up immediately, but again, where you're aware, it's already half the battle that you've conquered. Okay, once you're aware, you can make the changes, and then you can heal and understand. Healing doesn't happen overnight. Healing takes time. Okay? And once you make your changes, be strong within yourself enough to stick them out and not let people sway you away from it because they might be now lacking that you've taken something of your own back. Okay? It's tough, but it makes you strong. Anyway, I wish you guys a lovely rest of the day. It's evening time here now. I'm gonna go and start getting dinner done, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.